Hello, everybody. Welcome to Awakened Positive Power, where Darcy Marta, beautiful Darcy Marta, and myself, Jemima Godsall, chat to you regarding topics such as to do with mental health awareness, depression, and suicide prevention through awareness. Heavy topics, guys, but just so there is a disclaimer down below that I'd like you to read, but also there is a 1-800 number there if you know anyone who is in trouble or needs an ear or needs to talk to someone. For yourself or for anybody else, please ring there. You can always ring anonymously or obviously with your name. Okay, moving on. So yeah, Darcy and I chat every week about different things that I'm struggling with in particular. I am going through a lot right now. Yeah, this channel is 100% authentic. We don't stop. So I don't wear makeup, whatever. Like
I do wear makeup. I have to say, authentic makeup that I've put on myself.
But yeah, we're trying to just be as authentic as possible. Exactly. We don't want to have, oh my God, I've got an excuse not to come. Oh, I'm having a bad hair day, for example. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, forget it. Every day is a bad hair day.
Don't worry. Anyway, so that's why I won't stop and start. You'll hear me going, huh? What? So to this week, anyway, something really good happened to me, Darcy. Absolutely, it's a miracle. Everyone, a manifestation of mine. Another one has come through with my property in Bisbee being closed with the escrow. Was it escrow? It was escrow. Mm-hmm. Now we closed it. So it's now officially mine and my lover's, and it's phenomenal. And it's like, oh my God, woo! But I'm in the midst of a bit of a depression right now. And yesterday I found myself crying all day, and it was really disappointing for me to not be able to do what I normally do in my heart, which is jump around and be, oh my God, you know. And I know Chris is like me, like that. My lover is like that with me, and that's what we love about each other. We jump around like little kids, and I couldn't join him yesterday, and it was really heartbreaking because it was also a manifestation of mine that I've been working towards for a long time. And here this gift is, guys, it's a long story, but it's a massive gift with just so many good wishes on it. And I cried and I was upset, and then I wrote a blog about it. I do write a blog, just sort of discussing what is a right way to move on to your next chapter. There is, I mean, it seems to be expected to us to have woohoo and cheer and stuff, where really I'm also closing a huge chapter of my life, the good, the bad, the ugly, that I do need a moment as a single woman relatively, even though I was married for a long time, I was kind of single there too, but it's a totally different lifestyle. I've got my property with my lover, long-term lover. I don't know. It's just freaking me out a little. It's, and I'm really sad. Like, I'm really sad, and it's really upsetting because it's a manifestation that's a dream come true. And I have a whole wealth of things out there waiting to be explored and created and discovered, and here I am teary. And it's just disappointing. It's just disappointing to feel disappointed, or like disappointed in myself, you know what I mean? So what say you, Das?
What say you? Yeah, right. Oh, I think so many things. Yeah. I think that, again, needing to be kind to yourself is the big thing, right? Mm-hmm. That we're going to start there. So let's look at that word disappointed. You're disappointed in yourself for having big feelings. Okay, so let's back that one up and say you're entitled to your feelings. So if you're going to be disappointed in something, you'd be disappointed in circumstances that didn't turn out the way you wanted, or something that, you wanted and couldn't have, or, be disappointed in an event, a thing, a person, etc. But if you have big feelings, you have big feelings, and everything you feel is always appropriate. There are no right or wrong feelings ever. Your feelings are your feelings are your feelings. And so if you're having a feeling reaction to a joyous experience with deep sadness, well, that's your feelings. And please allow yourself to experience that. I want to just say that right off the top. Okay. So take away the shame, the admonishment, the disappointment, and all the self beating that you're doing over having big feelings. It's okay. If you want to know why you're having big feelings, there's all sorts of reasons. Number one, there's the huge expectation of failure.
Massive.
Right. You walk around, people walk around, I walk around with always expecting to fail.
Especially if you have a past of that.
That's of failing, right? We're always expecting something to go wrong, something to be taken away, something to just explode, disappear, disintegrate, turn into a drama, a trauma. And here you suddenly have good circumstances. It's like, what the is that?
Yeah,
What is it? Oh my God. How do I hold it? How do I touch it? I haven't had good circumstances in a gazillion. I don't know what something good looks like. I don't know. What if I screw it up?
Yeah. So what I think I'm doing, Darcy, is creating.
I know.
Creating it.
No, you're not creating.
Yeah.
You're not creating. You're dealing with your fear and you're expressing yourself emotionally. And the fear is the what if, and going to that negative expectation that you've been trained to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've trained yourself and you've been trained to expect the worst or to try to pretend to expect the best and have the worst happen, and then to go see nothing happens, right? You know, that kind of thing, of course, right? And so when something goes right and it's good, there's what is it, right? And this huge amount of fear and pressure and expectation, and then the what ifs, this beautiful thing turns out not to be beautiful, and what if all those past circumstances reappear and become those, you know, manifesting again, and all that kind of garbage. And you know, I'm glad you had a good crying day. I'm really glad. And sure, you had it on the day that you went through escrow, because all of a sudden everybody said, here you go. Here it is. Do, 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 do. Here's your beautiful, yeah, right? And you were like, wow, how do I hold this? I'm going to destroy it. Right. So yes, great. I'm glad you had a day of crying. I'm glad you had a day that allowed you to face that, to look at yourself. The difference between your past experiences and this experience, the big difference is you.
Yeah.
You're a different person.
I don't know. That's what's scaring me.
Are you on drugs?
No, I'm not on drugs.
Are you drinking?
No, I'm not. Well, no, not now.
All right. Are you hurting anybody right now?
No, not at all.
Are you employed?
Am I what?
Are you employed?
Yes, I am.
Well, I think you're a different person.
Yeah, but my emotional reaction to things
is different.
No, it's not, because I feel like it's not, because the 24 hours, the 48 hours before we closed, I saw parts of myself that I thought I'd never see again without drugs. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, and here I am screaming at each other. Here I am with my love screaming. He's doing his thing and I'm doing my thing. And thank God we both at the end acknowledged and apologized, and like so embarrassed really about sort of going, oh my God, you know, like embarrassed for ourselves, let alone each other. That's a difference. But
yeah,
I'm really disappointed that I went there.
That you can't be perfect. You're disappointed that you can't be perfect.
There's a way to have, I mean, not to that extreme. Like I was a crying little bitch, pardon me, YouTube.
All right.
You know, like screaming. And I know I did that with my ex-husband, but that was a panic. It was the only way it was going to be heard. You know what I mean?
Right.
This is not okay. You know, and then I thought, my God, I had to stop and go, was I misinterpreting my marriage the whole time to a point? Because that was just my reaction, or was I was it so done so often that it's drilled into me that to react that way? So
Exactly.
now I'm like this, and I'm doing all this personal work, and here I am, like, no reason. He does not deserve that. Nobody deserves that, by the way. Sorry,
Sure.
my ex. Well, nobody deserves that.
Right.
It was shocking, and I'm shocked that when will the work start to take effect?
Well, I think it is. You're self-aware. I mean, look, you turned around and you apologized. You're self-aware. Now, the next step, Jemima, really the next step is to stop yourself in the middle of it and remove yourself from this situation. If you're self-aware enough to go, wow, this is totally an ab reaction here. I really should not be doing this. This is wrong. Well, you recognize right and wrong. That's awesome. In the middle of it, that's awesome. That's a conscious choice. That's becoming self-aware, right? And now your next step is to begin to empower yourself to stop as soon as you start to feel that evil beastie part of you, that witchy bitchy part of you. Huh?
The blob, as we're going to call it, Darcy.
Oh, blob, blob, blob. As blob is entering the room, right? It's to say, wow, I really need to step away for a moment. I need to get myself centered. I need to be in touch with what these big feelings are, because I'm becoming reactionary.
Yeah.
I'm a ball of reaction, and I don't want to be a ball of reaction, right?
It's damaging, it's just hurtful and damaging, and I don't want it to rear its ugly head anymore, because
it may.
But nobody needs to deal with that. I can't believe it's in me sober. Sorry, my ex-husband, but I can't believe this exists within me.
Sure it did. That's the beauty of alcohol. It brings your shadow block to the surface, and and then you can blame it on the alcohol. But in actuality, we have to really look at what's hiding underneath our need for drugs and alcohol, and who's lurking under there. I mean, so many times I've watched really lovely people just become horrible because they've been drinking or doing drugs, doing stuff. Right. But there was something in them, right? That anger stored in the liver.
Yeah.
That the alcohol triggered, or the drugs allowed to surface. And so, right now, staying present with these big feelings, and with this big globby nastiness that surfaces sometime, and saying, oh, here it is. I got to step away, because and it's not to hide it, but it's to step away and be with it and say, why are you showing up today? Until you learn to talk to it, and say, what's going on here? Then you'll be able to find that the root of all of that is fear. It's all about fear, right? Everything's about fear. When we drop into our evil beastie self, the evil beast is to protect the part of us that's afraid, right? And it's all, that fear of loss, fear of failure, make a mistake, all that kind of stuff comes up. And that's why I want you to really give yourself kudos for crying all day. That's okay. That's the way you let that energy go. And kudos to you for being self-aware enough to go, okay, I gotta really look at this face to face, and maybe really doing some work over the next couple days. Call that part of you to yourself and have a conversation with it.
I'm ready to. I'm like, it just being sober allowed me to see how traumatic that for the other person, how it can really it makes me sad, like, let alone for myself to have one to find ugly behavior like that within them. Anybody, it's that another reason to go have a drink or shoot up or whatever it is,
yes.
So I over, saw it, and I was like, oh my God, that would mess me up. Like if I was getting, I'm going, that would just fuck me right up. Like, how dare they? How dare I? Like it's like, woof, I'm really very fortunate, but
Yeah.
uh
Mhm.
it's
And now
that,
looking at that, yeah. So you have the today, tomorrow, next days to really sit down and look at the evil beast in you and have a conversation and say, really say, what are you so afraid of? And can we work through this together? I keep giving too much of my power over to you. I'd really like to understand you better.
right, yeah,
Um, I want to hear your voice, but I want to hear it in an appropriate way. So when we try to suppress stuff is when it comes out inappropriately, right? People who suppress their anger and their evil side, or their evil beastie side rather, they have a tendency to scream at, the clerks in the grocery store, or, that kind of thing, or go on road rage. And, we do um, it goes in inappropriately.
yeah,
Right.
totally,
And it doesn't mean that those feelings are not valid. They're valid, but you're the one that needs to be in control by facing it, hearing it, validating it, and then deciding, where can I put that energy other than dumping it on a safe target who doesn't deserve it. You know,
yeah.
what's really showing me here is that you really trust this person.
Yeah, uh thankfully. Thankfully he trusts me too. uh
Yeah.
you know just it's just a shame, it's just a but then once again, like we were just saying before, Das, society sort of sets the expectation of how to react to things.
Right.
So like expectation of to celebrate after such a wonderful windfall yesterday, who set that expectation. Like society apparently did. Like apparently I learned it somewhere, but not necessarily has to be true.
Right.
um and there is a part of our lives, both of us or anyone in it going into a new lifestyle, is has to say goodbye to the past. Is a huge change, and there
Right.
is a mourning. I think sounds like a really negative word, or a harsh heavy word. It doesn't have to be mourning like that, but it has to be a acknowledgement too of saying goodbye to a chapter in your life, that a season in your life that is no longer going to be there. And so that also has to be recognized as well. So that's for me right now. I'm not celebrating that. Because I really am. I'm so excited about everything. I woke up this morning thinking, my God, like this is amazing. But I'm still feeling heavy hearted. It's like, okay, well, that
Well,
I'm
you
not
know
going to.
what? I think that that's really important, Jemima, because you are getting this beautiful thing with this person, right? And it's like you're making a commitment. That does not remove your freedom,
No,
you
not at
know,
all. It's a different way of
right.
it. Yeah.
Right. And to really remember that you are individuals who are coming together, that doesn't mean that you've signed off and removed Jemima from the picture and now she's got to be this other person. You're still you with your same goals, and you've signed on to be in the same place at the same time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and supporting each other. But when you need a break, you take a break. Oops, you're frozen. Is it me or is it you? Can you chat? She froze up. As far as I know, it's Jemima who's frozen. So let's see here. So one of the
I mean,
things are you
there we
back?
are.
Okay,
I'm
there
back.
you are. You're back. It's kind of like you took a little nap. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that yeah, society. We put the parameters, the pressures, all these expectations on ourselves because society makes money off of it. I mean, that's really what it's about. You're supposed to go to school. You're frozen again, so I'm just going to keep talking until you come back. So the expectation is you go to school, you go to college, you get out, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, you get a divorce, get remarried, you have kids, you get a new career. Everything's always hunky-dory, all these steps in place, right? And then you retire, and everybody has their own story and their own way of doing things. And I think even with social media, it's making it that much harder. It's a cat butt.
Sorry. Yeah, social media is making it harder.
It makes it much harder because we end up comparing ourselves constantly, and sometimes I get really sad or despondent about my own journey, and I go, oh, I don't have XYZ things that I think I should have. And then when I start talking to somebody, they go, my God, you've done all these things and I've just done this. And so it really depends on how we are judging ourselves and who is judging. Oops, you're frozen again.
I'm here.
Take another nap?
Yes, I did.
Right. You'll probably need one after crying all day yesterday. Right. So the idea of freedom should always stay. That person that you're with needs freedom as well. They need to be able to have their own goals. Their goals should be theirs. You should not be their goal. You could have the same goals, like let's build this house together or let's build this thing together. But it's the thing that you're building, not you. You cannot be that person's goal.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
When someone says, you are my life and I'm living for you, like, I understand.
Oops, lost you. Crap. That was such a good question. That was such a good question. Come back, Jemima, come back. Bring me back your question. Yeah, you can't be anybody's life. And that's a lot of pressure when somebody tells you that they're living for you.
I'm here. I'm
there
here
you
now.
Go. Okay, say it again.
Yeah, sorry. When someone says, you are my life, I'm living for you type thing, but I know I don't want to become in a codependent relationship. How does one sort of, I don't know, retrain the brain of the other person, or like say, no, how do you, because I know that they could have an inkling of codependency, but if I know that if they listen to me going, let's be healthy together, let's help each other through this, he'll be more than willing to jump on board. But I'm not quite sure how to come across with that without being insulting. Do you know what I mean? By going, yeah, no, I can't be, shut up, that's stupid, all that sort of stuff. Like,
yeah, you don't want to be dismissive.
Yeah, exactly. But I also don't want him to, I don't want that pressure on me either. Like, whoa, no, not a good idea.
That's a risky bet, buddy.
Oh, yeah, you said it. All right.
I think the best thing is to say the only way that will work is if you have your own goals too.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you're going to get tired of me. And when, too much of a good thing, right? It's too much of a good thing, but make sure that, I love the commitment and the partnership aspect, but let's say you had a company together. You were building a company. We'll call it Crystal's Extravaganza. Okay, we're having a company called Crystal's Extravaganza. One of you is a CEO and one of you is a CFO. Or maybe one of you is artistic director and one of you is CEO. And one of you, what role are you taking in that partnership to build that company together? You have your individual jobs, your individual goals, right? Mm-hmm. If it's going to be all about what the CEO says, and this person can't think and has to constantly be asking that person, what should we do now? What should we do now? What should we do now? Where do we go now? How do we want to go now? This person's going to get burned out and that person's going to get burned out. Yeah. Unless this person's a megalomaniac. And maybe that'll feed into it. But eventually someone's going to get taken advantage of that way. Yeah. Yeah. So, just, to say, look, we have this beautiful company we're building together. What are your goals?
Yeah.
What are your goals for you? You know, not with me as a person individual, but what are your goals for you that get you excited and jazzed and focused, and it will be our goal to make these two goals symbiotic and go together. So if you're the artistic director, if you're the person that's creating the vision and this person is doing the works, then they have something they're working towards.
Yeah.
And you have something you're working towards, so that it doesn't have to constantly been going like that.
Yeah.
I know a lovely husband and wife who are having this problem because it's his business. They work from home. Their business is in their home. And she does all of the bookkeeping, all of the, you know, the book work, all of the logistics, all everything, billing, etc. And he does the actual physical labor of the work. And it is just ripping their marriage apart.
What a shame.
I'm like, you guys need to have an office away from your home, someplace else. Go to work, go to the office, do it there. And when you come home, you're at home. And you're doing home life. And there's no separation. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week, all about, is it all about him? It's all about him and all about getting his job done. And I'm doing all this work for you and you're just making mistake after mistake. And well, you didn't do that. I mean, it just becomes so much. And I looked at her and said, well, can you separate? Can you say, okay, 9 to 5, or, well, the job's not like that. I said, well, you're the one that's in charge of the job. You own the business. So you got to call it. You know, it's, you know, he can't work after dark. So neither should you. Right?
Yeah.
If it's dark, he's not out there digging and landscaping and building and doing all that kind of garbage. Neither should you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you get behind in your work, that's what assistants are for. And you think you can't budget it? Well, you better, because right now you're budgeting it emotionally. So, you know, where are you making your arrangements here, right? And a lot of times we end up arguing for our limitations. Oh, but I can't. Oh, but he is. But I am. I can't believe I am this person. Or, you know, we argue for our limitations, right? Yes, it's your business. You can decide. Oh, I wish I have people tell me, oh, I wish I could see you on Wednesday, but I have my business that day. Okay, I say, that's my free day. That's the day I have for you. So you're the one in charge of your business, and that's your choice. You know, if it's really important that you be at work on Wednesdays, okay, then you'll make time. And if not, then you're just not prioritizing. So that's what I would suggest, is that you guys really understand that you have something that's solely yours, right? That you definitely make friends, that you have, you know, personal days, that you have time away, right? That you create your realities and then come together, and you'll be really successful. You have come this far. I'm telling you, you're so amazingly resilient that, you know, you really got to start not arguing for your limitations, but really accepting those compliments and say, oh yeah, I am working really hard. And no, I can't expect everything to be magically transformed just because I figured out, oops, I made some oopses. I got to change them. You know, you got to.
Awareness is key. Awareness is key.
Awareness is it. And now that you're in your midlife change.
Yeah, my perimenopause. Who the hell is Perry? I don't want Perry on board.
Right? Get rid of Perry. Perry, yeah, there's no room for you.
No room.
So One of the things that you can look at, or I feel like
Right.
you really should look at, especially with all these changes going on, is the chakra work.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, I really feel like as society as a whole, our first and second chakras are just so weak.
Yeah.
You know, we experience trauma, moving, we're constantly uprooted from our lives, and then we become uprooted from who we are.
Mhm.
And then we get all up here and
Yeah.
be, try to attach ourselves to spirit, but we're not rooted. We don't have a sense of grounding. And so really, I feel like working on your first and second chakra, really getting, I'm going to just read you something real quick, if I may.
Yes.
If I may. So this book, I love this book. Here's one here,
Mm.
and it's by, I'm going to say her name wrong, Ambika Wouters, AmbikaWauters. So I really like her book on the energy of the chakras. The only one thing about it that's missing to me is menopause.
Okay.
She could add that in here. And I would really like to find out how she sees it. But I see it as, a first and second chakra issue, because we have to be grounded and we're not. And then suddenly our chakra energy is moving up through our body and it's leaving the first and second chakra. It's changing and it's moving upward. Well, how out of balance are we becoming if we're not rooted to begin with?
I was going to say quickly, the first and second is the root chakra and the sacral chakra.
The root chakra and the sacral chakra.
So that's what, and it's the base, from the base of the spine to then just below the belly button is where the sacral chakra is, just in case you didn't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That is where we have our creativity, our sexual organs, our productivity, all that sort of stuff. Whereas our root chakra, obviously root grounded, what Darcy's talking about.
Exactly. Thank you so much. So your root chakra is how you are connected to your roots, your tribal energy, the earth, your ancestry, where you live, being a part of your community, right? So let me see if I have, try to imagine a fully grown tree, right? Deeply rooted in its ground and its community and its ancestry, right? And now it becomes uprooted, right? And so the idea, what makes us uprooted? Trauma, right? Moving, right? So separation, so many things, disappointments, continual disappointments, right? Those things all keep affecting our root chakra. Those are issues of trust. When you develop your root chakra as your little baby tree, you develop your understanding of how the world works. Food, clothing, shelter, sexuality, and trust in the world around you. And all those traumas and disassociations, they uproot you bit by bit by bit until you are uprooted. Now you have to reestablish everything for optimal growth. So you have to take that uprooted tree and find, how do you root yourself? Wow, try to be a teenager and root yourself.
Gosh, yeah.
And all the trauma that goes there, right? So we have to continuously work on our first chakra, which we don't. The second chakra, which is the sacral chakra, right, is about well-being, but it's also about our ability to create. It's our creative energy, right? It's in the sexual organs, it's in the area of digest, right? And creation and releasing, all those things, create and release. So again, we have to get ourselves rooted so we can create, right? And then now you reach menopause. Are you rooted? Probably not. You've been working on creation and try here, 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 and suddenly your energy is moving up through the body, right? Away from those into a higher understanding. And so now your creation comes from your heart out through your hands, as opposed to from your ovaries or your reproductive organs to another person. It comes from your heart now out your hands. It comes from your mind through your vision. It comes from your words through your communication. And it comes through a connection to spirit. That's where your creation is going to be, right? So try to do all that if you're not rooted.
Yeah.
Right. Hard. It's very hard. So I suggest you, my yoga, Pilates, right? Energizer bunny, really work on some root chakra work, first and second chakra, sacral chakra work. Really get yourself grounded, really rooted. And then you can start. And it's how profound. You're moving to a new place.
I know.
To get rooted in. I mean, like, that's like so profound, right? So profound for you to get rooted and then create this new way of expressing, communicating, visualizing. So get rooted, sister.
Love to. I will.
Mhm.
All right, Darcy, you got a card or anything to pull today? Thank you for the wise words to assist me in my processing, getting the land. Thank you, and the feeling defeated and not feeling celebratory. But that's part
You'll
of the
have
process.
you'll have an opportunity to feel celebratory when you get your feet back in the ground.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So you can do a little ceremony for that.
Yeah, for sure. What we got? What is it to go this weekend and take a plant and plant it and do a little ceremony at the land? Just sort of give
Beautiful.
ourselves our own root, our own moment together to go, what the hell?
Yeah. And silence and, walk the perimeter, do what the wolves do, go and pee in the corners, right?
Yeah. Oh, he will. Don't worry, he will.
Oh, yay. So pick.
Moon card.
Okay. Oh yeah, so the moon is shifting. So
Coming through to a new moon next week, I think it is. New moon in Aries next week.
yes, the new moon's in Aries next week. That's very exciting. That's a great time to begin new
Especially because we
stuff.
are in Aries too. Like it's a double gift for the Aries out there.
Uh-huh. Do you have Aries in you?
No, I don't.
I do. It's my Aries moon.
Okay, great.
I have my Aries moon. So I'm like, oh, I'm looking forward to a new moon in my moon sign. I could use it. I could really use it. I need some inspiration right now. I need an aha moment. So what is it that we are pulling a card for? Are we pulling a card for the new property? Are we pulling a card for your new understanding of your creativity? Are you pulling a card for what do you want to pull a card for?
Future prospects. What's to look out for future prospects?
Get it narrower, Jemima.
Okay, property.
Yeah.
New adventure.
Can you describe the property to me? What does it look like?
There's 2 separate 2-acre lots, and there's a quarter lot, and there's a 3/4 lot. So we've got 4 lots.
All together?
No, all separate. So we've got two about 2 acres away from each other. Then halfway down, about 8 miles, we've got a 3/4 lot. Then about another 8 miles down, we've got a quarter lot. So we have lots of possibilities.
Yeah, lots of possibilities. Are there fences or people between?
No, there are not. Well, they're the 2 acres that are next to each other, well, kind of next to each other, they could be coming in the future, but not right now. The other ones, they're on the corner of other acres, but there's nobody around us. It's pretty barren. There's nobody really around, and where there are people, we can't really see anyone. So even though we're like 20 minutes from the town, we are completely isolated, which is beautiful. But we know we've got everything. Yeah.
That sounds very exciting.
And we've got one facing the mountain directly, like our mountains seems like it's in our face, and then we have the beautiful Chiricahua Mountains all the way surrounding us, all the way around. So,
Oh, sweet. All right. And so there's a spot for me to move in.
yes, there is. There is. We've got properties there, here, there, and everywhere. Yes, of course. Yeah, I know. I love it. I love it.
That sounds exciting. Okay, so I pulled for you, or it fell out rather. I didn't pull it. I let it fall out. It's a full moon in Aquarius. And it
Oh, and
says,
he's Aquarius. How funny.
you hate Aquarius?
No, he's Aquarius.
Oh, he's Aquarius. Oh,
Yeah.
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, Aquarius people. I have such karma with Aquarians. Full moon in Aquarius says, show the world the real you.
God, okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay. So this card brings the message from the cosmos that you need to detach a little from whatever situation you're asking about. Okay, great. Someone might be keeping you at arm's length, but it's no bad thing. So this is what we were talking about, how to make this not become obsessive, right? It's important for you to allow life to unfold and progress, even if change feels like a frightening prospect.
How funny.
That's what, right? Right.
Can you cannot make this stuff up?
Seriously. I know, right? If you've been holding yourself back from showing the world the real you, this card reminds you that your unique characteristics are what make you special. In a relationship, if are you being too aloof or too detached? Go ahead and be yourself in whatever is coming up for you. Well, I think that sounds like our conversation today, right?
We just discussed
yeah.
that.
Oh, hey, listen to this one. Be aware of your feelings, but also be prepared to move on. So you may have to say, hey, I think it's time for me to let go of this globby, bitchy, witchy response.
Yeah, totally.
Hopefully, and you do that by being self-aware, right? Here it comes. I'm going to go talk to it. You know, I'm going to decide I don't need to respond that way anymore. But it takes practice, right? Yeah. And then it says, additional meanings for this card are, don't lose the beauty and romance of life. Ding, ding. You are too much in your head. Get into your heart. Bing, bing. Get into your feet is what I suggest too. Yeah. A friend needs you, so be there for that friend. Ding, ding, ding. I need to get a little bell. Every full moon is a time to release and let go. But the addition of Aquarian energy into the mix triples that message. Aquarius is the opposite of clingy, and pulling this card anytime suggests either you need to let go or someone is thinking they are the ones that need to let go, perhaps of you. What needs to go? What is the right thing to do? Whatever happens next could be highly unconventional or unexpected. So I'm going to leave you with this. It's like when you make a decision, right? You don't want to grasp or cling. You want to say, oh, I meet this opportunity with open arms, open hands, and an open heart. And that allows me to have an open mind. Okay. And then I'll tell you a little story about my friend, what she used to tell me, a little short story. So she was teaching a modeling class, and she was teaching the models how to stand perfectly, right? You have to have like 1 foot straight and 1 foot slightly turned outward, right? And she used to tell people, okay, a long time ago, Mrs. Toe met Mr. Heel, and they fell in love, right? And she said, but in order to have a great relationship, you always give each other a little space and point in slightly 2 directions, going the same path.
Perfect analogy.
Right? Perfect. And I thought to myself, my gosh, she's teaching these models this amazing, profound concept just to get them to stand right. Yeah, but what a great concept that was. So I leave you with that, right?
My love, thank you. Bless you. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Peace out. Stay authentic.
Thanks for sharing with me, Jemima.
Bye.